Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 17th May 2016. The first article is related to the imposing an inequality. What is the context of this article? Recently, the Chief Justice of India's bench, it has said that the litigants has to pre-deposit certain amount to hear their case with a priority. So the author argues this. So giving certain people a priority over the others based on their ability to make pre-deposits, it is going to violate the equal access to justice. So in this case, if you see the UNDP, United Nations Development Programme's definition of justice, it not only shall have equal access to justice, it also shall lead to equal outcomes of the justice. So this very basic principle is getting violated. Now let us see the Article 14 of the Constitution. It provides for the rule of law. So the rule of law will be upheld when all the people are being given a right to access to the justice. So it means the court shall not prioritize one over the other, especially with the cases, huge number of cases which are lagging in the courts. This kind of behavior will ultimately keep many people out of the courts. The second thing is, courts also appears to be taking a neoliberal turn. So mostly they are being driven by the markets. That is what is the accusation made by the author. So with regard to the clearing of slums, where the poor people live, all the comments made by the judges in various cases, it shows the insensitivity of them towards the problem of the poor. So the public interest litigation era, where a judiciary which is remarkably looking towards reform or looking towards development of the weak and marginalized, it is giving away towards the creating of a favorable market environment for the country with a quick litigation disposal. So this is not going to be a good situation for the rule of law in the long run. So quick disposal is necessary, but this quick disposal shall not come up at the cost of denying of the justice or access to justice to the weak and marginalized. So one such a step is this, where the pre-deposits before the court is going to limit the access to the justice to the poor. Now recently an IP policy, our intellectual property right policy, was announced by the government. This article tries to critically analyze this intellectual policy. Now, what are the provisions of this policy? So as of now, at least 24 months time is taking to fill the or get an intellectual property such as trademark to be registered. So in this case, what the present policy aims is, by 2017, any registration has to be filled within 1 month. To that extent, the number of human resources are being improved. And the second thing is the one single point of contact. For all the intellectual properties, the Department of Industrial Policy is being made as a nodal agency. And the third thing is the section 3D of the TRIPS, or our Intellectual Property Act. This is untouched. It means that the compulsory licensing in the case of the public emergencies and avoidance of the evergreening of the patents are still retaining in the existing policy. But however, the policy tries to encourage the intellectual property registrations from India. So what the author argues is, so the policy is very unrealistic and it is equating the registration of intellectual property with innovation. Now, if we understand carefully, innovation is much a broader concept. Intellectual property is just a legal understanding of this innovation. So if we do the cost benefit analysis, if every person in the university starts registering the IP, then the number of IPs are going to increase, but not the innovations. Now, I will say the innovations are broadly three types. The product-based innovations, market-based innovations, process-based innovations. Product-based innovations, what does that mean? If you're inventing a new product, market-based innovations, it means you know how to sell that new product. and process based means how you are reducing that particular cost of the product. So these are the three things. Now everything has to be registered according to this. It also encourages the professors working in the public universities to register their IPs. In this case, their promotions are directly related to the registration of these IPs. And even in the schools and colleges, intellectual properties are being taught. So, everywhere the creativity and innovation are becoming equated with the intellectual property. That is the major drawback of the new policy. Coming to the NSG membership, recently China declared that it will not suppose the India's membership to NSG if it do not sign the non-proliferation treaty. Let us understand this way. What is NSG? It is a 40-member group or a nuclear material suppliers cartel, which stands for Nuclear Suppliers Group. It has come in 1974 when India has conducted the nuclear test. And finally, after India-US civil nuclear agreement, with the diplomatic persuasion of India and the United States, NSG has given its waiver to India. It means that the NSG members can supply the nuclear material to India, though India did not sign the NPT, that is Non-Proliferation Treaty. So in this case, India is looking to become the full-time membership of a member of the NSG. But all the NSG decisions have to be made unanimously. So in this case, India is using all its diplomatic might to get the support from the Sweden, Iceland, which are generally no sayers with regard to the proliferation, or which are in alignment with complete disarmament in the world. So the China, why it did so? One thing is the shift in balance of power in Asia might be the reason, and the second thing is its all-weather friend Pakistan. It don't want to keep it at a disadvantaged position. So in this case, what might be the possibility? Our NSG may create a second-grade membership, which are for the non-NPT members, and it can provide for entry to all, so that all the other countries along with India can become eligible for it. So, and the second thing is, we can use our diplomatic effort with Beijing to persuade them to support us. But whatever, a balance is necessary now. A cost-benefit analysis is necessary for India to move forward its membership at NSG. And coming to the pollution levels. Now, recently WHO released its report, and in this air quality assessment of WHO, last year Delhi topped the rank. Now, it is not the Delhi, it is a city in Iran that is called Jabal. It is majorly due to desertification, deforestation, the dust storms which come over here. Now, removing this, if you make the Delhi, the major problem is PM 2.5 and PM 10. The particulate matter less than 2.5 microns and less than 10 microns. So these cause various respiratory illnesses to us. So in this context, this problem is coming from the use of the diesel cars and non-maintenance of the proper roads and the dust accumulation, use of the cooking fuel, and especially Delhi, the western Uttar Pradesh, and also the Punjab. After the crop seasons, they will burn that particular crop, which is leading to a particulate matter in Delhi, and the thermal pollution, which recently the Delhi government asked it to close it down. So, I mean, if we develop the public transport systems, and then if we ban that particular burning of the crops true after the season, this can reduce this particular pollution to an extent. Now, India and United States engagement is getting deepened. Now here, the first maritime security dialogue has held. You know that before month, Ashton Carter, the United States Defense Secretary, has visited India. So there, the major issues discussed are Asia-Pacific maritime challenges, naval cooperation, and multilateral engagement. So in this case, so this is what is the first exchange of this information, where wide shipping is concluded. What is meant by this wide shipping? There will be a data exchange on the commercial shipping traffic, and there will be Navy to Navy discussion on various submarine safety and also the submarine warfare, all these related matters. So this data sharing mechanism, we call it as wide shipping. Now coming to the midwives. In India, at the rural level, the major problem is the lack of availability of the trained doctors. So, but in India, if you take the obstetrician care is relatively very rare on the rural side, but midwifery is available. So, but we get confused midwifery with the dais. Now, midwifery are well trained professionals to conduct the deliveries. Due to lack of proper training to this midwifery and lack of obstetrician availability on the rural side, they are being deprived, the people are being deprived of quality health care on both the fronts. So in this context, training of the midwifery. So the example, the best example with regard to this is the National Maternity Hospital in Dublin. Here, all the deliveries will be conducted by the midwives and under the supervision of the obstetrician. Only when the complications occurs, then only obstetrician will involve. This will be the best and price effective model for India for a safe motherhood and institutional delivery. So next is, you know that the first interstate linking of river waters, the Ken-Betwa project is coming up. So now, it is trying to irrigate the Bundelkhand region. So, Uttar Pradesh and between Madhya Pradesh, these particular regions, it is going to irrigate. So, here, there is one tiger reserve, that is Panna Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. So, it is going to get affected or inundated because of the Ken-Betwa interlinkage. The government has recently appointed, as for the procedure, a National Wildlife Committee to look into the matter, and this National Board of Wildlife, NBWL, it has given its report and it was very critical about the Ken-Betwa link. And but however, government has got the approval from the Supreme Court too, so the project can be taken forward. So today I am not discussing the Indian Express. I will make a separate video if necessary. Due to some electricity problems over here after a thunderstorm, it is getting delayed, and so please take up this video, and evening I will post the Indian Express. Right, thank you very much. All the best.